Last year, I bought a Specialized Turbo Levo Comp Carbon e-bike. And in my first video that I made about the bike, I had mentioned that I was going to make a few videos documenting my experience of owning an e-bike for the first time. And so that's really what this video is all about. And the title is not clickbait. I really am thinking about selling the bike, and I want to explain why in this video. And really the bottom line, the bottom line is I'm just not riding it near as much as I thought I would. And I'm going to explain why coming up in a minute. I started using the Specialized app to track the rides and have all the stats and everything. And I probably did 3 or 4 rides before I started using the app. But I looked at the app the other day and I realized that I've only, well, the app says I did 6 rides, 112 miles with 9 hours of ride time total. Now, like I said, there's a few rides before I started using the app, so there's more than that, but not much more. I did my first e-bike race 2.5 months ago from filming this video, and that was the last time I rode the bike. And the reason is, as of right now, I'm only mountain biking about 2 days a week. And my office used to be at the trailhead, and I left that job for reasons way outside the scope of this video. But now I work in a different location that's a good 25 minutes from the trailhead. So I don't have the luxury of riding at lunchtime like I used to, where I used to mountain bike maybe 4 days a week. Now it's 2 days a week. Also, I got a Niner Sur9 hardtail that I'm having a blast on. And so I like having different bikes to make my local trails just a different experience. And really that hardtail has filled that purpose. And so my main bike is a Transition Spur, full suspension, 120 mil travel. I really enjoy riding that bike, but the hardtail mixes it up for me. And that's what the e-bike was supposed to do. But if I'm only mountain biking 2 days a week, if I were to ride the e-bike one of those, that means I'm only riding my analog bike, whatever you want to call it, regular mountain bike, 1 day a week. And I just want the fitness improvements of riding a mountain bike on the trails. Now I do gravel ride other days. So my typical week is I will do a long ride on Saturday, 4 to 5 hours, and then ride 3 days during the week. 2 days during my week rides are gravel. And Saturday, like today, I did 75, 77 miles on the gravel bike. And so I'll make sure that I mountain bike at least once or twice. So like there could be weeks where I only ride mountain bikes 1 day a week. And oh gosh, man, that sounds terrible. What am I doing? So bottom line is I'm just not riding the bike as much as I really wanted to. When I got the bike, so I got it for 2 reasons, and I mentioned this in the first video that I made about the bike, and that is to go fast on my local trails, to improve my bike handling skills at speed. So when I get up to the mountains, I just have that feel of riding a bike fast. And the other reason is to use it as a shuttle bike, which is why the majority of the people probably out there have a high-end mountain bike, an e-bike. And you can just get in a lot more descending, and it really serves its purpose. So one of the rides, probably my best ride on the e-bike, was up in the Tenasseee trails in Tennessee, and I did 3.5 hours. I think it was like 35 miles, and there was one descent where I probably would have done it one time, maybe twice on the analog bike, because it's a pretty good climb to get back up. I did it 3 or 4 times on the e-bike. I just kept repeating the downhill, and I had a blast. So also, when I go on trips, I actually want to bring, of course, my long travel trail bike, which I'm going to be announcing that one coming up. If you watch my channel, you probably know what it is, but I just got it in. And I also want to bring my Transition Spur. So I have a long travel trail bike and more of a cross country, if you want to call it down country. I made a video that I think down country phrase is going away because cross country bikes are getting longer, and that down country category just kind of goes away. But regardless, when I go up to the mountains, I want to bring that bike, and I want to bring the longer travel bike. And typically I will only bring 2 bikes on a trip. Bringing 3 is just kind of a hassle, like getting it into the hotel or cabin. And then it's just a hassle. So I limit my bikes to 2 when I go on a trip. And there may be times where I bring the hardtail. So maybe I'm staying in a place where there's a lot of gravel roads, and I want to bring the long travel bike for trails, and I want to bring the hardtail for riding gravel roads or tamer single track. The intent originally was to bring the e-bike and then to bring the longer travel bike. And I did that, and it was fun. But even on those trips, I was like, man, you know, because it's a mountain bike trip, I just want to ride my analog bike. And like I said, I did enjoy riding the e-bike, but it wasn't a life-changing experience for me. So that's really the bottom line of why I'm thinking. In fact, I actually have it on Facebook Marketplace right now. Probably has 140 miles on it. And I just do not like owning things that I don't use. It's just a waste. And my garage is full. I mean, my son has bikes, my wife has a couple bikes. I could just decide to ride it more, but every time I ride the e-bike, I'm like, man, I really want the feel of an analog bike out here, and I want the fitness improvements of riding my analog bike. Because riding 4 days a week, I mean, I don't want to ride an analog bike less than 4 days a week. You know, I realize e-bikes are the most polarizing topic in mountain bikes right now. And I'm not for or against e-bikes. I'm for mountain biking, and I'm for health. And so however that fits into your lifestyle, e-bikes are, you know, they definitely fit the bill for a lot of people. I'm not going to give this bike away, so if it doesn't sell for a good price, I'll keep it. You know, so, and then I'll use it. Think about going out tomorrow on the e-bike, just to, you know, kind of make sure I want to sell it, because I haven't ridden it for 2.5 months. But anyway, that's just my thought process. Like I said, just wanted to document my experience of the e-bike, things I'm going through with it. I realize this is probably going to stir up a whole, every time you mention the word e-bike, it brings up controversy. So leave your comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you agree, disagree with me? Let me know. All right, catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.